Hello, how are you? The title of today's video is
PowerShell Section 1 What and Why from a Developer's Perspective. Before we start learning PowerShell together, I would like to clarify one thing. I'm not an IT administrator, at least not for now. I'm an electronic software engineer and spend most time writing software. The knowledge I will share on PowerShell is from a developer's point of view. Although PowerShell's primary users are IT administrators, I find it also useful in my line of work. For example, the integration of PowerShell and Git module. What is PowerShell? In simple terms, in Windows, it's a replacement for command prompt, or DOS. If you still remember this old days jargon. In this short demo, we will use command dir to list the files both in command prompt and PowerShell. In command prompt, type dir and press enter. The list of files and folders and the current directory are listed. In PowerShell, type the same command dir and press enter. Similar information is displayed. The actual command of dir is get item. You can get the same result with get item star. So what's the difference? In command prompt, the output from dir is text or strings. In PowerShell, the output is object. What does this mean? If you add pipe and get member command after dir in PowerShell, notice the drop-down help menu when you are typing the command. What do we get? You can see we get system IO directory info and system IO file info and their associated properties and methods. If you know any object-oriented programming language, you would agree there is rich information embedded in class object. You can do a lot of things with these properties and methods. This is a quick demo to support the statement that PowerShell is a replacement for command prompt in Windows. In a more detailed description or official definition, PowerShell is a task automation and configuration management framework from Microsoft. It consists of a command line shell and associated scripting language. Does this definition make a lot of sense to you? If not at this moment, it will when we move on to various automation and configuration aspects in this series of tutorials. For now, let's take it at face value. Before moving on to the second question, for the sake of completeness to answer the first question, what is PowerShell? Let me list some facts or features of PowerShell. It was developed by Microsoft, first released in November 2006. Jeffrey Snover is PowerShell Chief Architect. PowerShell 5.1 was the last version exclusively for Windows, running full .NET framework stack. From PowerShell 6.0, running on .NET Core, it became cross-platform, independent of Windows, free and open source on August 18, 2016. At the time I'm preparing PowerShell tutorial in June 2019. The latest version is PowerShell 7, which is designated as the replacement product for PowerShell Core 6.x products, as well as Windows PowerShell 5.1. The commands in PowerShell are called commandlets, following verb, noun, naming system, like the commands we mentioned in the demo: get item, get member. Now let's look at the second question. Why learn PowerShell? Or why use PowerShell? There are 6 game-changing features for me to learn and use PowerShell in place of command prompt in Windows system. Reason 1. Open source. If you are interested and have some time to spare, you can inspect the source code at GitHub. Just the prospect of being able to modify and contribute to the project already makes me feel excited and challenged. If you need some help on how to use GitHub, I have a series of tutorials on GitHub. Please take a look at your convenience. Reason 2. Cross-platform. PowerShell is not only open source, but also for Windows, Ubuntu, Mac OS, etc. One tool rules them all. The skills you learned on Windows can be applied to Linux using the same tool. How cool is that? Reason 3. .NET Framework or Core. I don't know how much .NET you are using. For me, it is part of my daily work. Being able to use the same library for C# and PowerShell is a plus, not a minus, with respect to reuse the knowledge. Reason 4. Consistent data structure. If you have worked extensively in Windows command prompt or Linux Bash or other shell environment, you may have some headache with the ugly details of unstructured data strings. Basically, they are designed to parse and manipulate the text output. It looks all the tools are never meant to work together. On the contrary, PowerShell's output is consistent, structured data due to its object-oriented nature. The output consists of object properties and methods. The benefit is that you can focus more on your task at hand, less on what the command output looks like. Reason 5. PowerShell Gallery. You can find a great number of modules from Gallery than you ever need. One module I frequently use is Git. With this module loaded or imported, I can view Git status in command line when working with GitHub. Reason 6. Replacing GUI. It can be used to replace GUI in all administrative work. I heard this statement somewhere. Every minute you spend on GUI is a waste of your time. Every minute you spend on PowerShell commandlets is a long-term investment in your life. I don't quite agree with this statement, but it does reflect one possible scenario. In a job interview, you could appear more skillful if carrying out one task by typing PowerShell commandlets than by clicking through the buttons on the GUI. There are more reasons to use PowerShell than the 6 items listed here, such as remoting, implicit import, interacting with other technologies. You can find more information online by searching "Why PowerShell?" If you are convinced, please move on to the next session. If you still hesitate, do more online research to see if it is worth your time and energy to learn a new tool called PowerShell. Thanks for watching.